A new year is here, and so is a new season of a Dream F1. And as the Dream F1 universe is 1 year behind our universe, we're here for the pre-season test 2023 that once again is taking place at Jerez. But before we look at the cars and teams, there is a few things we want to take a look at first. Now, that is what the fans have been waiting for. Here is the full calendar of our 2023 Dream F1 season. Most notably, we will see 16 races this season instead of the 12 we've seen in the previous year. The new additions are the Australian Grand Prix at Bathurst, as you might have already seen if you follow STV Gaming on Instagram. Also making a comeback is the Spanish Grand Prix at the circuit, the Barcelona-Catalunya, finally without the horrendous chicane in the last sector. Later this season, we'll see our short trip to North America, expanded by the United States Grand Prix, which will be coming back to the road course of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. With Monaco and Indianapolis on the calendar as venues, there is one more that cannot be missed. Le Mans, only for the second time in its history, will see a Formula 1 race with the French Grand Prix returning to the Circuit Bugatti, uniting all Triple Crown venues at the pinnacle of motorsport. As already announced last year for the race in Germany, there is an alternating contract in place, so this season the race will take place at the Nürburgring, adding another iconic name to our calendar. The season of comebacks in terms of venues is completed with the reintroduction of the Portuguese Grand Prix at Estoril. With a new rule in place that every country can only host one race per season, we'll unfortunately lose the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola, but the rest of the calendar remains the same. But this is not every area in which Dream F1 is expanding. Ahead of each and every race, we'll take a look at the results, standings and some scenes from the Junior Series races. These Junior Series are secluded by region, with a Formula 3 Euro Series for European drivers, the Formula Inter Americas for North and South America, and the Formula 3 Open Series that is open for every driver not from Europe or the Americas. Some of the races in their season will act as support races to the Dream F1 weekends, and each driver of the top 3 from their series by the end of the season is eligible for an F1 seat. The schedules for these series are on your screen right now. And now let's finally look at the teams and drivers that will be competing in our 2023 Dream F1 season. A lot has already been confirmed throughout last season, but there still were some open seats. Now, in the inverted order of last year's Constructors' Championship, here are the 12 teams competing for glory. Although last year's Constructors' Championship does not show it, the British privateers of Williams have had a decent 2022. They were a lot more competitive at the back of the grid and did not only have themselves or Haas to battle with. Last year, they still only managed to score 1 point with Nicolas Latifi in Monaco. Latifi will not be racing for Williams anymore, and instead has been replaced with Logan Sargent from the United States. Alex Albon remains their lead driver as they're looking to improve their points tally this year. The team formerly known as AlphaTauri was sold to Honda towards the end of last season, so that Red Bull could fully focus on their new in-house engine program. AlphaTauri had a good start to the season with some good points finishes, but that was it. During the latter part, they did not manage another top 10 finish. The Japanese manufacturer that opted to create an all-Japanese team wants to attack and challenge at the top of the midfield. With Yuki Tsunoda and Kamui Kobayashi, they went for a mixture of experience and youth, creating an intriguing project that fans will watch with great interest. Haas improved a lot in 2022. They returned to the points more than once and managed to fight in the lower midfield. There was loads of internal trouble though. Mick Schumacher was let go from the team even though he was on par with Kevin Magnussen most of the time, giving the team their best result last season with 7th in Monza and ultimately even beating his teammate in the championship. That was not good enough for the team management, so they replaced him with Pierre Gasly for 2023. The debut season of STV Racing did not start too well, but ultimately became a surprisingly positive one. Multiple points finishes in our rookie season with a best finish of 8th saw us surprisingly beat some of the well-established teams, finishing a good 9th in the Constructors' Championship. With our former teammate Kobayashi leaving for Honda, we had a second seat still available to fill, which we decided to give to Mick Schumacher, in whom we saw loads of potential, creating an all-German driver lineup. We hope to pick up where we left off. Alfa Romeo's season was pretty unspectacular. They were rather running in the background for most parts, but there were some standout performances, like Bottas getting the car into the top 5 in qualifying at Spielberg and getting a good lot of points in that race, as well as a solid 7th place in the season finale at Brazil, which took them from 11th up to 8th in an intense lower midfield fight. This, plus a solid rookie season for Zhou Guanyu, convinced them to retain their driver lineup. The opposite must be the case for Aston Martin. Last season they were without a single point until the summer break. Returning from it with some major upgrades, it looked like they got it right with a very satisfying double points finish, moving them way up the order, but then that was it again, as they failed to score for the remainder of the season. A lot of it was actually down to some bad luck, but still that was enough for lead driver Sebastian Vettel to announce that he'll be leaving the team for Porsche. His seat has been filled by F2 champion Felipe Drugovich from Brazil, an interesting prospect to race alongside Stroll, who remains with the team for the foreseeable future. Porsche's first season was a bit of a mixed bag. Ultimately, they finished where they hoped to finish, but they were too far away from McLaren and Alpine, who they hoped to maybe take the fight to for best of the rest. Hülkenberg had a solid return to Formula 1, while Nick de Vries' rookie season was a bit disappointing. With four-time champion Sebastian Vettel joining the team, there was no place for the Dutchman anymore, so that they will start 2023 with an all-German lineup, as they're going for best of the rest behind the three top teams, even trying to bridge the gap to Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari. An ambitious goal for an ambitious project. McLaren could be happy with finishing 5th after a weak start to 2022, but the gap to Alpine was way too big for the second most successful team in F1 history. The Brits parted ways with an off-form Daniel Ricciardo after 2022 and replaced him with IndyCar prospect and huge talent Alex Palou from Spain. He's joining a solid performing Lando Norris, as McLaren, like Porsche, wants to become best of the rest while getting closer to the top 3 teams. Alpine had a very strong 2022. They finished an easy best of the rest last season and now set their sights on the top 3. That might be difficult to achieve since their main man Fernando Alonso left them now finally, or at least so he claims, ending his F1 career, stating he doesn't see Alpine being able to fight for the championship in the next years. A heavy blow for the French outfit that has replaced their star with the promising Oscar Piastri, Formula 2 champion of 2021 and part of the Alpine driver program. In celebration of their title sponsor, they'll start the first 2 races in all pink until they revert to their classic blue when we enter the European part of the season. We're breaking into the top 3 and we're gonna talk about Red Bull first. They only finished 3rd in the Constructors' Championship despite having a pretty competitive car, as proven by Max Verstappen, who fought for the Drivers' Championship until the very last race. In the end, they had to settle for 2nd there as well. Sergio Perez nevertheless has been retained for 2023, but he will need to step his game up. Some rumors say RB keeping Perez was all down to not having any other option, with Palou heading to McLaren behind the scenes. Alex Albon was not trusted with the role of Max support driver either after his earlier stay with the team. Then there is also rumors that their engine program might not be going too well either. All in all, not the best conditions to start the season under. Ferrari is back. That is the key headline after the 2022 season. With Charles Leclerc, the Scuderia has finally won a driver's title again last season, and that ignites hope in Italy that a new golden era, or rather a red era, is on the horizon. In the end, it was just not enough to beat Mercedes to the Constructors' Championship, but with Carlos Sainz also being more confident with the team and car going into this season, this might be their chance to attack the Silver Arrows in 2023. For Ferrari, the circumstances could not be better. Mercedes, to the surprise of many, has actually won the 9th consecutive Constructors' Championship last season, and that despite only having the 3rd best car. In the end, consistency did it for them, as their driver pairing of Lewis Hamilton and George Russell proved extremely stable and able to maximize the results of pretty much every session. Just 2 wins were enough for them, underlining the potential of the new lineup. No surprise they kept the 2 for 2023, but trouble might be on the horizon, as their car might have made the step up to be on par with Ferrari and Red Bull now, which might lead to another Hamilton vs Rosberg situation, with Lewis trying to win a record-breaking 8th championship, while an upcoming hard-charging and super quick George Russell won't be playing second fiddle, as he already proved last season. In conclusion, a fantastic season of Dream F1 is lying ahead. And now here are the full results of pre-season testing with the fastest lap every driver has set during the practice sessions. Now, just take all of these with a pinch of salt, as it is unlikely that any team will have shown their true pace here. We will see the true order when it's lights out for a new season of Dream F1 in February, when the season once again starts in South Africa at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. Subscribe to not miss that, hit the bell to be notified by any new video, and I hope to see you all for the opening round in Kyalami.